That is Mario. So
So I represent Benchmark, which is a streamlined market-leading aquaculture biotechnology company. We have 3 different business areas. Then our mission is to enable aquaculture producers to improve their sustainability and profitability. We deliver genetics, advanced nutrition, and health products, which improve yield, quality, and animal welfare. And our aim is to be able to be the leading aquaculture biotechnology company driving sustainability. We have 3 different core business areas which interact between each other. So we have genetics, we have advanced nutrition, and we have health. In genetics, we provide a crucial starting point for production efficiency and animal resilience. In nutrition, we provide high-performance nutritional solutions for shrimp and marine finfish, and also tilapia. And in health, we provide solutions for some of the most pressing diseases and fish welfare challenges. We are a global company, so we are present in every major aquaculture market and species with focus on salmon, shrimp, tilapia, and sea bass, sea bream. We have large-scale production in 6 countries and commercial and R&D operations in 20 countries. Now in genetics, we have again a global presence. We manage 5 in-house programs for salmon in Norway, Iceland, and Chile, for shrimp in Colombia, Nile tilapia here in Miami, Florida. We also have 30 different breeding programs for 20 different species. So as you can see, we have a global presence and a global impact in the aquaculture industry. What's the importance of selective breeding in the let me move the screen here. Oh, hold on. 1 second. Yeah, there we go. So the importance of selective breeding in animal production industry. Well, selective breeding has been applied technology for many years in the main protein production industry. We have, these programs have improved greatly the production, animal welfare, and sustainability in different industries. So as an example, we have the broilers, the poultry industry. If we compare the product from 1957 until 1991, there's been a 60% reduction in days to harvest, 66% improvement in FCR, 15% improvement in carcass yield, and 30% reduction in carcass fat. 85% of these improvements are, more than 85% of these improvements are directly related into genetics. The same with the pork industry. We compare the product from 1980 to versus 2001. There's been a 15% reduction in days to harvest, 45% improvement in lean gain efficiency. 50% of this can be explained through genetics, and then a 20% reduction in back fat depth. This is 100% related to genetics. Now in tilapia, the tilapia gift program, it was a pioneer in advanced selective breeding, and it proved that the same technologies that were used in cold water species, in this case salmon, could also be applied on tilapia, on warm water species. With the advantage that tilapia have shorter reproduction cycles, right, and shorter generational intervals. So the gift program gained 80% harvest weight in 5 generations. It also provided protocols that are still being used currently in different breeding programs around the world. So it was most of the programs that are being used currently began or are still using the gift protocols. So and the interesting is that some of the geneticists that participated in the gift program or project are now part of benchmark genetics. So as you know, gift tilapia is widely distributed around the world. Then the selective responses in aquaculture, the average genetic gain per generation, we can gain 12% or units on body weight per generation, fillet and mid yield around 0.7 units, general survival 6.4 units, and disease resistant 12.5% units. That's the response, the selective response in aquaculture. Of course, it depends on how do we, which weight do we put to each trait, but as you can see, there's significant gains per generation. Also, the advantage of using family production or selection production for tilapia or for fish in general, but in this case tilapia, is that all gain is accumulated. So the selection response is cumulative, and genetic gains capitalize on all animals produced. So as I tell our customers, the fish or the product they're receiving today or this year won't be the same as next year. So it's a continuous improvement. This type of selection helps the producers to always have a better product, right? So that's the power of selection. So the ultimate breeding goals. So in order to make a breeding program or to decide to what traits should be added to a breeding program, the investment should be made to traits that have economic importance and genetic variation. For example, production efficiency, robustness, and quality. But if you tell me, no, I want to, we want to have a breeding program so the fish have blue eyes. I mean, like, really? I mean, does it have an economic importance? So it's important to if we're going to work on genetic promise, you need to have an economic gain. If not, it doesn't make real sense. What are some of the candidate traits that can be selected? FCR or feed efficiency, growth, robustness, disease resistant, fillet yield, or for example, I know that Jamaica produces lots of red tilapia, so you can also select color, for instance. So those are the candidate traits that can be selected in this case. A little bit of our program. So we're part of Benchmark Genetics. So Spring Genetics, it's the selection, the Nile tilapia breeding program. We are located in Miami, Florida. So a little bit short introduction. We run one of the world's most advanced breeding for Nile tilapia. We have developed and implemented genomic tools. Our program targets key production traits. We are pioneers in applied selection for Streptococcus agalactiae 1B, Streptococcus uni, and Francisella orientalis in collaboration with the USDA Aquatic Research Institute and Auburn University. We have a biosecure breeding nucleus operation in Miami, Florida. So since the nucleus began in Miami in 2009, we haven't imported any more animals into a breeding nucleus. So we're a closed nucleus. And then we distribute robust and disease-free genetic material to farms, integrated companies, and affiliated multiplicators, hatcheries around the globe. Our footprint, we have a breeding nucleus in Miami, Florida, as mentioned, and we have several multipliers in Central America, Colombia, Peru, Brazil, Zimbabwe, in Africa, Bangladesh, and we also sell sexual fingerlings, direct sales of sexual fingerlings in the US and also the Caribbean. The story of our base population, as I mentioned, our base population comes from the gift program. After the gift program ended in 1997, the material was transferred to Vietnam, to another program called the RIA 1, where 4 more generations were improved. Then the material was transferred to Nicaragua to a company called Nicanor, and then there was selection or improvement of 3 more generations. So until this point, the material was, or Aquaforce in that time, Aquaforce Genetics Center, was only supervising the breeding program. So in 2009, we decided to create our own breeding nucleus in Miami, Florida. So that's when Spring Genetics was created. And now we have 10 generations of selection. So if we add we have more than 20 generations of selection if we add since the beginning of the material we currently have. Our selective criteria or selection history. We have 10 generations of selection, as I mentioned before. From generation 1 to generation 10, we have been selecting for growth. Then from generation 4 to generation 10, we have selected for Streptococcus agalactiae 1B in collaboration with the USDA. Then from generation 4 till generation 6, we selected for Streptococcus inea. And then from generation 7 till generation 10, we have selected for Francisella. So Streptococcus agalactiae is, I guess, is the most prevalent disease in tilapia, at least in the Americas. So that's why is of importance for us. Streptococcus agalactiae usually affects the fish around 100 grams up, and temperatures about 30 degrees Celsius. Then Streptococcus inea is more common in Asia, and is very similar to Streptococcus agalactiae. And then Francisella affects fish, but the difference between Francisella and Streptococcus agalactiae, with Francisella is more prevalent in lower temperatures. From 24 degrees Celsius under, you get Francisella. So that's why we have selected for both diseases. So this is data on how our genetic program has improved our material. So in this case, if we compare generation 1 with generation 10, let's say we were able to stock at the same time in the same place fish from generation 1 and fish from generation 10. While the fish from generation 1 reaches 530 grams, generation 10 will be 870 grams, almost 900 grams on size. So we have gained 340 grams in 10 generations of selection, based on a mean harvest of 530 grams. Now the same for Streptococcus inea. If we were to compare generation 3, this is where we started, selection, and generation 5, there was a 15% improvement based on a 57% survival mean. Then we stopped selecting for Streptococcus inea because we found, or the geneticists found a QTL, which indicates the exact gene that gives resistance to this disease. So that's why we stopped selecting for this, because we have genomic tools that can help us to select. But again, it's a very interesting flow. So from 57% survival mean, we managed to increase 15%. So it's a significant gain. Then for Streptococcus agalactiae, if we were to compare generation 4 with generation 10, using a mean survival of 55%, there's been an increase of 20%. So now the mean survival is around 70% for Streptococcus agalactiae. Then from Francisella, if we using a mean survival of 73%, we have gained 7 points, or 7 percentile points. So actually the survival for Francisella is the natural survival for Francisella is quite high. And we have gained also in 3 generations 7%. starting point minus 3%, right? So those are the results on our breeding nucleus, and we have all the data and all the publications that we can definitely share. And then you can ask me, so what does it mean for my farm? What does it mean for a farm, and how can we translate this into an economic factor? First of all, I would like to say that the genetics is not there's no silver bullet. So genetics is not the only solution to improving your performance. There should be a balance between, of course, genetics, health, nutrition, handling, water quality, biosecurity, and fish welfare. So there's no genetics is another factor. It complements the whole puzzle. So it's not just genetics. We need to be able to create the balance between all of this in order to get the higher performance. So what are the advantages of getting improved material or improved performance? Increasing growth rate, of course, this means shorter production cycles or increased harvest per year. Also, there's an improvement on FCR. So there's an increase on efficiency in meat conversion. Therefore, sorry, I missed S here. So there's less feed use. Also, higher tolerance to disease. This means increase in survival, more biomass to produce, reduces the use of antibiotics, and also improves the FCR, because by improving biomass production, you directly improve your FCR. And then fillet yield. If you increase fillet yield, there's a higher sales revenue for those who produce fillet. In summary, what are the main production costs? So these are direct production costs, and this will show that the highest production cost is feed. It could go from 66% to 70% of the production cost. Then we have labor, depending on the country. Here in the US, labor is higher than feed. And veterinary services of treatment is 7 to 8%. Electric or gas, depending on what type of energy you're using, 7 to 8%. And then the genetics, in this case, the sexual, the fingerlings is around 6 to 7% of the production cost. So we need to aim to improve by improving the growth and the feed conversion rate, we have a greater impact on the production cost. So what are the effects on the FCR? If we manage to lower the feed conversion rate, we get higher nutrient utilization, better water quality, higher growth, and higher fillet yield. And also by decreasing the feed conversion rate, of course, we have less use of feed, we reduce the production cost, and of course, there's a less impact on the environment. How do we convert this into numbers? In this example, I just put based on a 1,000 metric ton production, price per metric ton of feed of 750 grams. You can see the difference. Sorry, and this is kg and this is pounds. Just to, I don't know if you use pounds or kg in Jamaica, so I put both. So we compare, let's say a 1.1 FCR versus let's say 1.5 FCR. We can see that the production cost related to feed, of course, is significant. It's around what 20 cents per pound. So that's the importance of having a lower FCR. I'll show you this in different numbers. This is a case in El Salvador, Central America. They used to have 1.5 FCR on ponds, and then the sales price is around 90 cents or $1 per pound. So by decreasing the FCR to 1.2, that's the FCR they're using now, they were able to reduce the feed cost from 51 cents per pound to 41 cents. Sorry, what? Sorry. They were able to reduce the feeding cost from 51 cents per pound to 41 cents per pound, increasing their increasing their margin for other costs, and of course their sales revenue. So you can see the impact. And now if you compare like a higher FCR, you can basically make your own math and see the importance of reducing the FCR, right? This is based again on a $750 per metric ton of feed. Then, by having a higher growth rate, we increase the production cycles per year. We increase the biomass production. We have a more efficient use of resources, and of course, we increase the sales and income. We reduce the labor cost and use less. We use less production areas, or in another word, we are able to dilute the cost more because we produce more biomass per year. These are trials that we did in El Salvador, again in Central America. These growth trials were made in cages. These two lines are spring genetics, and this other line here, the darker line, is the local strain. So just to give you an example, their harvest weight. So they have two different markets. They have all round fish. They harvest at 1 pound or 454 grams. With spring genetics, they reached 454 grams in 98 days. And with the current strain, they reach almost the same weight in 124 days. And then the other market, which is Fillet, they reach in 153 days, they reach 998 grams. And with the same number of days, the local strain only gained 655 grams. So there was again, I missed an S, sorry. So several typos here. So there were 26, the cycle was 26 days shorter to harvest weight to 1 pound. And then there was a 343 gram difference to 1 kilo between spring genetics and their local strain. That's 50% higher growth. This was in cages, around 30. They stock cages in a lake called Lago de Lopango, and they usually manage 30 kg per cubic meter on those cages. And then this other example, this was from Green Water Pond in El Salvador as well. So as you can see, spring genetics reached 454 grams or 1 pound in 81 days. Versus the local strain in 129 days. So there was a 48 days difference to harvest weight. So there's a significant gain or reduction in days there. So shorter production cycles, what does this mean? They have available area, they have 50,000 cubic meters in different ponds. They stock 3 pounds per cubic meter. So per year, they're able to produce around 150,000 pounds per cycle. If we compare days to harvest to 454 grams, 81 days for spring genetics, and 129 days for the local strain, they were able to increase the cycle per year to 4.5 cycles with spring genetics versus 2.8 cycles with the local strain. This means that they were able to produce around 200,000 more, or a little bit more, pounds per year. So 675,000 pounds versus 424,000 pounds per year. Using the same infrastructure, the same ponds, the same personnel. So you can see the importance of having improved genetics. If we go to labor cost, the salary in El Salvador is $200, the base salary, and the managers get around $1,500, and there's a 16% social that they have to pay. So it's around $3,138 per month. So per year is $37,000 on salaries. With this example, dividing the 675,000 pounds and 424,000 pounds, if we divide that, the labor cost per pound of Spring Genetics was 0.06 cents versus the local strain 0.09 cents. So there's a 3-cent reduction cost per pound using a higher or a selected material. Then higher survival means, of course, higher production or higher biomass. In this exercise, I try to put, okay, by increasing 1%, the survival, how much more money they would make. So this is pounds and this is US dollars. So if by increasing just 1%, there's a significant increase, around $2,000 more per 1% of survival per pound. Now on fillet yield, this is based on $3.20 per pound of fillet. And what I try to do here is, usually tilapia, the fillet yield in tilapia is around 30 to 34%, meaning that only 34% of the fish will become fillet and the rest is byproduct. So by increasing, this is based again in a 1,000 metric ton or 2.2 million pounds production. So each 1% gain of fillet yield represents $70,000 of revenue. So that's the importance of also having a higher fillet yield. And there is a strong correlation between faster growing tilapia and higher fillet yield. So in conclusion, sorry, I left it in Spanglish here, but in conclusions, breeding programs are a fundamental part of development of the industry. The use of genetic improved material increases profitability. It offers major opportunities for improved animal welfare, profitability, and sustainability of the global tilapia sector. And in reflection of the significant development cost involved, the tilapia genetic sector is expected to consolidate in the future. I also would like to thank the whole team. Well, I'm missing Graciela here, but I would like to thank also the team in Miami, Brazil, and the geneticists in Norway for all the support. So we have a team in Miami. Michaele is in Brazil, and the geneticists are based in Norway. Okay, sorry. So I'll leave the space for questions or comments, and then if you would like to contact me, you can use the QR code, and you'll get all my data, my phone and my email. And that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope it was a good presentation, and I didn't make you fall asleep.
No, thank you so much, He. That was excellent. Does anybody have any questions? The floor is now open to questions. I'm not sure if everyone got the QR code, so
oh, sorry.
Would you be able to just type it into the chat box, just in case?
My phone number? Yeah.
Well, also the website, because then they can click onto the website and your contact information. Does anyone have any questions? This is a very interactive presentation, so we welcome your questions. So I'm curious, Hidi. So in Jamaica, as you said, the preference is to the red, red looking. Not that it's any different from the black or gray tilapia. Do you have a strain for the red? And does that also include, how does that work? Does it include also, you were saying for strep, genetics against strep or other?
Yeah,
Is it
we don't have.
separated?
Yeah, we currently don't have a red tilapia strain, but I know my colleagues from Norway. I mean, we could definitely develop, let's say, they call it a Jamaican breeding program for red tilapia. Benchmark Genetics can also. They also do consultancy and develop genetic programs. So, but as a Spring Genetics, we don't have red tilapia for now. But I know my colleagues in Norway will be open to discussing about making a breeding program or developing a breeding program for Jamaican red, or whatever you want to call it. And depends on how. I mean, breeding programs could be as expensive as you want, or as it depends on what type of tools you bring to the breeding program. But you can start with just selecting for growth and color, and then you can add or include disease selection. Oh, you're muted.
Paul asks, how do potential gains for other species compare to tilapia?
How do potential gains from other species compare on I guess on aquaculture is very similar, the gains per generation, but then I know I have here my colleague Graciela Yoshida. She's a geneticist, so she can give a better. Sorry, Graciela, to put you on the spot, but Graciela is a geneticist, so she could have a better response.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Graciela.
you.
Yes.
Sorry, Graciela, I put you on the spot there.
No, don't worry. It's a pleasure. Nice presentation, Hide.
Thank you very much.
Compared with other species, the gain is really similar. We have similar values for salmon, for example. That's the most common species that we are working to improvement, and it's really, really similar.
Okay, thank you. So my other question is, how cost effective is this for large farmers? How, I'm trying to get a community going in the Caribbean. Do they have to collectively get together, or can it be for a smaller farmer? How does that work?
I mean, to develop, so we have different business models as Spring Genetics or Benchmark Genetics. We can usually we work with multipliers. We give a distribution. Let's say how we work in Central America. So this hatchery, we sign an agreement for 5 years, where we provide genetically improved material on a yearly basis. There's a fee for the use of the breeders, and there's also like a royalty-based fee per fish that is going to be sold. So yeah, to be honest, to make the business, to be efficient or cost efficient, I don't think anything less than 500,000 sexual fingerlings per year or per month is worth of having breeders. I mean, in our case, we could definitely analyze sending sexual fingerlings from the US, but also I have Carlos Lopez, who is the commercial manager. But the problem with shipping fish from Miami is that we ship water, right? So the freight costs are quite high. But yeah, I would think that based on our experience, you need to be able to sell at least 500,000 sexual fingerlings per month in order to make a business based on our business models. And it could be a private company, ideally, or yeah, it depends. But we're open and we're very flexible, so we're open to hearing. And I mean, if there's opportunities, of course, there's something that we can analyze and discuss.
Great. Any other questions?
Now I have a question for you. For you. So, why red tilapia? I mean, is there any Nile tilapia in
Culture. It's cultural because
Cultural.
Jamaicans are traditionally used to marine fish, and marine fish, you know, are highly colorful. And so on before tilapia was introduced, that was all we had. And then when it was introduced, I think also at the time, I guess the flavor was very, very different. And so they associated the flavor with the dark color, with a very dark colored fish at the time. And so over the years, I found out just the red color is very similar to like a marine snapper. And the flavor, they're able to improve the flavor profile. So it's you don't really taste it as much when you cook it. And so they're able to substitute that. And so just cultural preferences, the red is far more preferred than a darker color.
And are there any Nile tilapia producers in Jamaica? Or is 100% red?
Majority, yes. I mean, this is coming from the 80s, 70s. I think it was introduced in the 70s, and then so in the last 30 years, just by marketing and selection, people have just identified tilapia with the red color. So it's really cultural.
Yeah, yeah. Similar in Colombia and Honduras, they are the local. I mean, the domestic market is red tilapia. I mean, in Colombia, for example, most of the exports are Nile tilapia, and then the domestic are reds.
Yeah.
They're starting to export some red tilapia here, and I must say it looks beautiful. Once you cook it, it looks beautiful. But taste wise, unless it's grown on salt water or it tastes the same. But yeah, okay.
It tastes the same. And then there are some farms that have brackish water, so it almost simulates, you know, salt water, close, not a lot. But that's a very good idea, you know, in terms of if it was suggested that local be red, and if they could also grow it for export. But there's a lot of competition for exports because of the market coming from Asia. So I think right now the market is domestic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there any support from local governments to I mean, but because I've seen in other countries like Dominican Republic and other countries that after COVID, you know, they found that domestic production is important. So many governments are kind of you know, trying to give grants or support to producers to kind of. Is there anything similar in Jamaica going now?
I'm not sure about the grants, but there's definitely a marketing campaign for the public to eat tilapia. So I'm not sure what's being given to farmers, but the public is being encouraged to buy from farmers. So that's currently going on because they did find out that it increased significantly during COVID. The domestic market increased significantly. Yeah.
Okay.
So any other questions from anybody else?
Yep. I do have a question. Hello, I'm Carlos Lopez.
Hi, Carlos.
Do you have your camera, Carlos?
Yeah, I'm here.
We made you, yeah.
So I'm right here. Yep.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I had a quick question. What is the market price for the red tilapia? Maybe is it, do you know, is the fingerling price, or do you know the?
That I don't know, and I can find out for you.
Because I'd be curious. A lot of times the Nile tilapia finds its way into the market based on price. So since the production cost could be less for the farmers, they could potentially sell it for a lower price, and then that's how you can open the market. But yeah, I'd be curious to see what the price is.
Right. No, I don't know the price, but I do know that the farmers are starting to struggle with feed costs, which have risen significantly. Also, I'm not sure how good they are about recording. So, understanding feed conversion rates and relating to what their price is something that we're trying to work on to have them a better business model, in other words. So it's very interesting historical developments of the tilapia industry in Jamaica. It used to be where there were just maybe one or two very large companies that were mother companies, and they would buy from smaller producers. But with the event of importing products, that kind of really squashed the market. So these smaller farms were kind of left on their own. And so now they're just starting to understand the business model more, because before they didn't really have to. They just grew the fish and they got it sold. So that's something I mean I can find out for you. I don't really know the full details.
That would be good to know also the sales price of per pound. In I guess the price should in tilapia price, whether it's high, right? I guess.
Well, in relative to probably the marine and to the imported product, it would probably be less. Why it rose more? But again, I don't have those figures.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be curious to see if there's any imported Chinese tilapia coming in.
Yeah, that's something definitely was happening. So I don't know, but I don't think it was the fresh. It was probably more frozen product.
Carlos, can you repeat your question? Because there's Lean Benet is asking if you could repeat your question.
Oh yeah, no, my main question was that just what is the sales price of the fresh whole red tilapia in Jamaica, and if you were aware of what is the fingerling price to the farmers of these red tilapia, just to get an idea of the market.
Right. So I will have to find that information for you.
Okay.
And I don't think we have any Jamaican farmers right now on the call, unfortunately.
Farm gate is 400
per pound.
400.
Oh, great. Oh, Leanne, thank you very much. Thank you so much for being here.
Nice to meet you, Leanne. 400. That's what's the coin in
Leanne,
Jamaica?
would you like to be put onto the spot and talk a little bit
$2.
more about
Yes, Leanne.
in Jamaica?
Oh, Leanne.
That's $2.60 per pound.
It's not bad, huh?
That's a good price.
Pretty good. Pretty good price. Hello, Leanne.
This is Sharon Fairclough, not Leanne. We're just using the same media.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you so much. What's your name? Sorry.
I'm Carol Fairclough.
And you are an extension agent? Can you tell us who you are? Sorry.
I'm Karen Fairclough, one of the regional extension officer employed at the National Fisheries Authority.
Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
Can you tell us a little, you're the expert. Can you tell us a little more about tilapia in Jamaica?
Yeah, that would be great.
In Jamaica, we have an estimate of about 104 registered active farmers in Jamaica. And the production, we produce about 869 metric tons for 2021.
How much? 200
and pardon me?
Can you repeat the number? 280?
For 2021, we produced approximately 869 metric tons, and this data was collected from farmers who indicate their production for last year. We have to remember that not all farmers give the information, but the ones that indicate information, we register those and we store those data, and we have about 101 to 104 active registered tilapia farmers. And we have about 701 acres in production. So there's more ponds out there now, but the acreage that is in production is 701 acres. And those are what? We have to remember the key word, registered acres. There are more acres out there now, but the acres that is registered and actively using.
I understand.
Understood. And the price of tilapia is $400, between $400 to $420 at farm gate. Right? But
That's
retailers, the
400
vendors,
Jamaican
to
dollars.
$420.
Okay.
Jamaican dollars.
Okay.
Is
And
that
that's per pound. That's per pound, not kg, pound.
per pound?
Right.
Okay.
And at retail, vendors tend to sell the tilapia for $600 per pound, Jamaican dollars. And that's
That's
not on
nice.
scale. All right.
Interesting.
But we have to look at the location also. So different location across Jamaica. So you may get tilapia higher, between $400 and $20 in St. Catherine and Clarendon. But in St. Thomas, it may be sold at a higher price. But I can't give you that data now. I just give you the data of the more saturated area.
Right.
Very
That's
interesting.
great.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay.
Sorry, question. And do you know the fingerling price? Price per fingerling in Jamaica?
All right, so we have different hatcheries across Jamaica, so I'll give you a range, right?
Okay.
So it's not a price I'm giving you for fingerlings, but that's not fingerlings, fries. Because fries is the one that we sell mostly, advanced fries. And the range is $4 to $6.
Okay. Fry.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's it for me.
Would you mind putting your name and info in the chat box if we wanted to contact you?
Not a problem.
Thank you very much.
Can you type it in for us? I'm really excited that you were here to participate.
Yeah, no. Thank you very much for the information.
Okay then.
Thank you.
Who is your colleague?
You're welcome.
Who is your colleague?
All right, so my colleague here is Nadia
I'm Nadia McNeish. I'm also a technical officer, and
we have Leah and Mara.
Wow. Hey, excellent.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for joining me.
so we'll just put the information in the chat.
Yes, please, so that we can and we'd love for you to subscribe to our network so that whenever we have more of these events for you to join and to learn. I hope this was very informative.
Yes, but we were in a meeting, so we couldn't really hear much, but we would love to get the presentation if it's possible.
Yes. If you leave me your email, it will definitely be sent to you.
All right, no problem.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
That was great information. Thank you very much.
So,
Perfect.
anyone else? This presentation is recorded, and please subscribe to the network. I'd really love for you all to join. We are hoping to we will be having more events. There's so much to cover in aquaculture. There's so much more that needs to be talked about, and really trying to get more people. It's really important that we start looking more seriously at aquaculture in our region. So I'd love for you to subscribe. Please email Hidi if you have any questions. Email me. My contact, sure.
Juliana, I would like to put in the spot my colleague Carlos Lopez and Shubham Mathur. They can also support giving talks. These guys are experts as well. Carlos is an expert in hatcheries and marine fish, as well as Shubham.
Yes.
So, and they also give very good presentations. Sorry, Carlos and Shubham, I'll put you on the spot, but I think it's.
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right.
No, I'm
There's some-
really excited for everyone to be participating, and I hope that the word will start getting out more, that we have so many experts out there that, you know, are willing to give us more information.
Yeah, no. It was great, and whatever we can do to support Julianne, please let us know.
I'm just putting in some information here in the chat box.
Carlos and Shabam, you want to put your info there as well?
Yep.
And we're also use social media a lot. So I'm on Instagram and Twitter. So if anybody's on Instagram and Twitter, please follow me to find out more about what we're doing. Twitter. I'm at Instagram and Twitter at PhD Fish Doctor. So again, you can find out more about me on LinkedIn. You can join our Instagram, join our Twitter, and subscribe to the network. And I'm really excited to have you all back. And we're going to have another networking meeting where people are going to show who they are and connect and talk about what they're doing and really get to know each other. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Hidi. I appreciate it. Thank you, Carlos. And thank you to the National Fisheries Authority employees for being on to tell us more about what's happening in Jamaica. So with
Excellent.
that, I am going to say goodbye. But if anybody else has anything to say, I am going to sign off and you getting the recording.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Great for everyone to be interactive if you preferably. Okay, so I'm going to get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Julianne Russo. I am an aquaculture scientist. I'm originally from Kingston, Jamaica. I currently live in Italy, and my specialty is actually biosecurity, nutritional management for freshwater species. I started this network, the Caribbean Aquaculture Network, as a way to inspire and motivate and share knowledge with Jamaicans, you know, farmers, scientists, students, and Caribbean, in the Caribbean region. But everyone is welcome from all over the world. I hope to share the knowledge from, you know, others, aqua enthusiasts from around the world to our Jamaican, and like I said, Caribbean nation. So you can find me. I will be putting my link in the chat box, my LinkedIn and my website where you can find more about me. And I hope it would be a pleasure for you to sign in, subscribe to the network so you can learn more about upcoming events. We're going to be trying to do more of these, and we're going to have an actual networking event where others can, you know, release. We want to see who you are, where you're from, and just to connect with others like yourself. So with that, our guest today is Hideyoshi Segovia Uno. He is the General Manager of Benchmark Genetics, and I am going to have him introduce himself, and he'll be presenting today the economic advantages of genetically improved tilapia. So welcome and thank you for coming on to this network today, Hidi.
Oh, thank you, Julianne, for the invite. Actually, I know a few of the people that are here, so it's going to be a very nice, you know, presentation. So it's great. So yeah, my name is Hideyoshi Segovia. I'm an aquaculture engineer, and I have a specialization on processing and HACCP processing as well. So yeah, today we'll be talking about the economic advantages of using genetically improved farm tilapia in this case. So just start sharing my screen. 1 second. Let me try to do this.
Are you in?
For me? Sorry?
No, are you able to share your screen?
Yes, I just lost the, hold on 1 second. I have too many screens, hold on. There. Yeah, there we go, right? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect.
You have to, yes, there you go.
Yeah?
Yes.
All good?
Go ahead.
Great. So, okay, well, again, thank you very much for the invite, Julian, and I hope this presentation I would like to be more I would say dynamic. So I'll try to be short, and then we can have a good discussion after the presentation.